Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to apply transitions to your clips using Premiere UXP. We're going to be making a simple plugin here that when we hit a button, it applies a transition, a random transition at that, between our clips. So you can see here, we got an iris, apply again, we got a radial wipe, apply again, we got a dip to white. So we're going to be basically accessing all the transitions within Premiere and then learning how we can apply them and what kind of options we have for the transition to apply it to a clip. Before we get started, make sure you check out the links down below to my GitHub, AE scripts, all kinds of cool stuff down there. Join us on the Discord, become a channel member, and get bonus content as well. And let's go ahead and get started. So here's the code itself. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is doing the standard procedure to get the project, the sequence, and video tracks and video track items that we want to deal with using UXP. And then we're going to be exploring video transition objects. If you look inside of the UXP reference guide, we have a class called Add Transition Options. We're going to be using this to essentially decide what our transition does and looks like, whether we want to have a certain duration set to the start or end of a clip, the alignment between clip A and clip B. And then there's two other sections of the guide that we're going to be looking at. The transition factory, where we can actually get the names of all the transitions currently installed in Premiere, as well as an ability to create a video transition. And then we'll also be referencing our video clip track item class, which represents a clip on your timeline. And we need that in order to create our video transition action. And yes, we will be using an action, and an action is sort of something that we discussed in our initial tutorials on UXP for Premiere, where there's actually another function you have to run to get the action to apply. It's basically a universal holder for some kind of thing you're going to do in Premiere. You might have an action to apply a transition, and there's all kinds of other ways. If you want, I'll go ahead and upload this code on GitHub. There will be a link for that in the description. But if you want to learn how to do this yourself, we're going to cut all of our useful code out, keeping the execute action function, because this is, I think, going to be something I'm using all the time. And let's get started writing the actual code. So what we have is basically a super broken down UI where we just have a header here that says transition learning, as well as an apply transition button. So we have our apply transition button. We're going to apply an on-click listener in order to run this function apply transition. And now inside of apply transition is where we're going to gather all the information we need and finally apply our transition that we've created. So first we're going to get our project, the Premiere project that is, and say await ppro.get active project. Sorry, that's a ppro.project object.get active project. Next, we're going to want the open sequence. I have a sequence here with some classic decade-old NT Productions videos. If you've been here since I was Peregrine Commando 99, leave a comment down below. I'm very curious how many people are still around from when I used to make these little VFX videos and a scripting tutorial once a year. But I have some old clips here, and then we're going to be trying to apply a transition before them and in between them. So we're going to get this active sequence here by saying sequence equals await. We're going to grab our project dot get active sequence. Then we're going to be applying a video transition today. You can apply these same concepts to do audio, but because we're going to be doing a video transition, we need to get this video track here, as well as a clip from the video track. So I'll say const video track, and we're going to say await. We're going to reference our sequence, and what's inside our sequence or video tracks. We'll get video track at index 0, and that's going to give us video track number 1. And sorry, this at is not necessary. Those are from the old scripting days. Still getting used to UXP. Then we're going to say video track item, this is our clip essentially, is equal to await our video track, and we're going to get track items. Now this is how we get all of the clips along this video track itself. So we're going to need to provide a couple of arguments. So if we go to video track and we say get track items, we need to provide a track item type, and if we do or do not want to include empty video tracks. So So inside of our video track class, we have get track items, returns an array of video clip track items from the track item type. So we need to provide it with an integer representing an empty, clip, transition, preview, or feedback. So in our case, we want clips, so we're going to say 1, and then include empty track items. We're going to say false because we don't want to include empty track items. So 1 for clip, false for no empties. Now, if you're not sure if you did everything right, you can always console log your video track item or any of the other variables and make sure we have valid data. So I'll go ahead and reload my plugin with debugging enabled, and we're going to hit the apply transition button. You can see now our video track item is actually an array with 2 video clips, and that's because this video track has 2 video clips on it. So because we have that, we can just grab either one of them by saying index 0 or index 1. In this case, let's go ahead and use just the first video track. Okay, so now we have one of 2 components that we need to create and apply a transition. We have the clip that or video track item that we want to apply the transition to. Now we need to sort of build a transition. It's a little bit more involved than the previous scripting days where we could just grab an effect match name and use the apply transition method. With this new update, we have to do a little bit more, but we also have more control over the duration, where it's located, and things like that. So as mentioned, we need to reference a couple of other classes in here. We're going to start with Transition Factory. With Transition Factory, we're going to start by getting video transition match names. This is going to give you a list of every transition installed. So we'll say const match name list, because we're going to be dealing with match names. We're going to await Premiere Pro, and the class name is Transition Factory, and we're going to get video transition match names. Now, we will console log that, clear our debug, reload, and now when we apply our transition button, you can see we have a list of 51 video transition match names. What we're going to do is pick any one of these and use that to create our transition. So also inside of our transition factor, we have one other method called create video transition, which is perfect for what we're doing here. So we'll create a variable called video transition to keep it simple, and we'll set this equal to await Premiere Pro. We're going to tap into the transition factory class, and what are we going to do? We're going to create a video transition. The argument required for this is a match name, and since we have a list of match names, let's grab a random one of these. So to grab a random one, we'll just say reference our array, and what index in the array are we going to grab? We'll floor a random value multiplied by the length, minus 1, because it's an array, of our match name list. This will grab a random match name each time we click the button. Now, if you are curious, let's go ahead and console log our transition object here. So I'll reload, apply, and now inside of here we have a video transition, a lot of constructors and stuff, not really useful information. Right now it's empty, so let's go ahead and keep moving towards applying this transition. So we have this transition object. It's got sort of just the match name located inside of it. That's cool, but we need to actually apply it to a clip. And the actual way to apply it to a clip, if we go to our video clip track item, we have our create add video transition action. This is the actual line of code that applies the transition to the clip. However, we need 2 arguments to apply this transition. First, we need the video transition. This is the thing that we just created and console logged right here. So we have one of the 2 things required. We also need an add transition options. So what is that? Let's click on the type and let's figure out how to create an add video transition options. So let's look at this class add transition options. We have a apply to start, force single-sided, transition alignment, and duration. These are the 4 properties that we can customize to customize our transition. But in order to customize these, we first need to create an instantiation of our add transition options, because we need that object type to actually create and add our video transition. So to do that, I'm going to create a variable called add transition options. I'm just naming the variables the same thing as the object type to keep it easy. And we're going to create a new object. That object is going to be a Premiere Pro add transition options object. So now if we go ahead and console log this object, we want to make sure that it is correct. We'll apply. And now you can see we have an add transition options object. That's exactly what we need. You can see it has some default values. Apply to start, false. This means it's going to apply not to the start, but the end of the clip. We have duration, which is obviously a time duration that your transition is going to last. We have force single-sided. I believe this is referencing if it is on one clip or two. And then the transition alignment is the multiplier of how much of your clip is on clip A versus clip B. So when it's at 0.5, it's half on clip A, half on clip B. If it was 0.1, it would be 0.1 or 10% of the transition on clip A and 90% or 0.9 of the transition on clip B. So we can adjust these values. We have some set methods here. Set apply to start, set duration, set force single-sided, and set transition alignment. The reason we have these separate methods is because these properties are read-only. When you see the R here, that means they're read, not write. So I will take my add transition options and we'll say set apply to start. And do we want it to apply to the start or the end? Well, if we have our first clip and another clip after, we want to apply to the end. So we'll say false. We don't want to apply it to the start. Next, we'll set the duration. Let's say 5 seconds, but we need a tick time. In order to create a new tick time, we're going to say const time is equal to await Premiere Pro dot the tick time object. And we're going to create time, is it with seconds? Let's see, tick time, create with seconds. So we're going to do 5 seconds and then use our time as our duration. Next, we have set force single-sided. Set whether or not the transition should be applied on one side of the clip or both sides. I think we want this to be false, but we can always adjust it later. So we'll say set force single-sided to false. And then lastly, we have transition alignment. We saw that it was already set up to be 0.5. However, we can set it to whatever we want here as just a number. It needs to be like a float between 0 and 1. So let's say 0.7. So it's more on clip A than clip B. Now let's just go ahead and console log that and make sure all those values were appropriately updated. And it looks like we're getting stuck somewhere. So if you're ever stuck, just add some console logs between each line of code, and I think you'll quickly find where the issue is. You can also use a try catch. In this case, I'm just going to do this quick method, adding A values. We'll reload, apply, and we get to A5. So we're stopping at set force single-sided. Is that the way we spell it? See, if you spell it wrong, it doesn't work. So make sure you spell it correctly. Quickly remove those. And now, go ahead and clear that. Reload the plugin and apply. So now here's our add transition options. Apply to the start, false. Duration, 5 seconds. For single-sided, false. And our transition alignment isn't quite 0.7. It's a huge number, very, very close to reaching 0.7. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for the single line of code now after all that work where we can apply our transition? Once we do this, you're off to customize it as much as you want. So again, we're going to reference our video clip track item. We have one of these already. You can see it's a little bit gray because we haven't used it yet. We're going to grab that. We're going to be using that variable here, and it's going to send us an action, which we're going to send to execute action. So to do this, we're going to say const transition action is equal to, we need to await, of course, our video track item, which is our clip, and we're going to create add video transition action. Now, the whole point of this tutorial was to create the two main variables needed to apply this transition. So what are we going to provide it? Our video transition. We already created that here. And also our add transition options, which we created right here. So it's basically saying, here's a transition object. It's got the match name in it, so it tells you what transition it is. And here's all the options for that transition, where it starts, if it transitions from clip A to clip B, etc. Then it's going to give us this action. Before we execute our action, let's console log it to make sure we're doing this correctly. Hit apply. Looks like we need to use the correct variable name. Reload, apply, and here's our action. You can see it's just an action, nothing special to it. We're going to now use this sort of pre-made code that I found again on the Creative Cloud developer forums to execute an action. And all you need to execute an action is your project and the action itself. And then it runs this code, which essentially locks the project, executes what's called a transaction, and then executes an action to that execution process. It's a little complicated, but the forums were very helpful in providing that information. So lastly here, go ahead and reload our plugin and apply. And just like that, look at that. We have a 5-second transition between clips A and clip B. I can undo it, apply it again, and it's going to give me a different transition because remember we did a randomization of our transition match names. So this is a super easy way to set it up, and now you can customize all the values if you want. Let's go ahead and let's say, for example, you want the transition to be much longer. Let's say 15 seconds. I know that's super long. Let's go 10 seconds. And maybe you want the alignment to be more biased towards clip A. You can reload, apply, and you can see now it's a much longer transition at 10 seconds, and a huge percentage is on the right side versus the left side of our video here. And if we set for single-sided to true instead of false, and we try that, you can see it's now going to be a single-sided transition, meaning that it's only applied to one clip. So if you're wanting transitions between clips, set this to false. And the last thing you can adjust is whether to apply the transition to the start or the end. Because I have it set to false, it's going to apply to the end of our first clip here, also making it transition between the clips. But if I set it to true and then apply, you can see it's going to start at the beginning of our clip. So this will give you full control over what transition you're using and all of the transition properties available to you. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. That's all about UXP transitions in Premiere, as well as how to set them up yourself from scratch. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Down below, check out the links, including the code and places you can purchase products or follow me and support me. But that's going to do it for today, and we'll see you next time.